The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andre and Brian.
Welcome back to another episode of Evolve Marketing Podcast. I am here with my co-host Brian Brewer, and today is just the two of us. But we were talking right before this episode. We were just chatting a little bit, and we were talking about missing the game. When I first started this business, I was so excited to create content for something that I was promoting. And I guess 3 years in the future, now today, it's kind of like you kind of like forget about how exciting it was those when you first start promoting something new. So Brian actually started doing something new with his business, which is the master resell rights that he started promoting to his list. And he's just trying to see, where everything is gonna go. Basically, his experience with it. Basically, it's something new that he started. So I want to hear more from how that experience has been going on so far, Brian.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Hi, Andre. Hey, listener. Thanks for tuning in. It has been interesting because leading up to this decision to go in with this, I was skeptical and maybe a little bit outspoken against the MRR, the Master Resell Rights, which is simply buying a course that teaches digital marketing that also gives you a license to turn around and resell it for the purchase price, meaning you can resell this to your customers and make 100% profit. You can get your investment back with one sale, that type of thing. So I was kind of like, oh, what is this new thing? Is this another SAM funnel for those people who've been around for a little while? Is this just another business in a box? And I just couldn't deny the buzz that this was getting, so I kind of had to dive into it. And long story short, I decided to jump in and do it. Maybe we can discuss that a little bit later in the podcast here. But yeah, I mean, the game. I mean, that's it right there. And I think that's part of the reason why I started this new venture is because I was not getting burned out, but I was getting stale because I was missing the excitement. For reference, my current funnel, which is my course and leads into my coaching program, is just so dialed in right now. I mean, it is just converting. I mean, is as good as I could possibly hope. And now, granted, that took me 18 months to get it to that point, but now it's like, oh, I'm missing the excitement of building new funnels and creating new campaigns and figuring out the messaging that's going to work for a new product and stuff like that. So that's it, man. The game. So I had to jump back in and start playing the game again. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I recently too also started, I guess, playing the game again. You remember how I told you that I started new accounts in English and I started promoting Legendary Marketer again. So right now I'm creating the same videos that I used to create back in the day. Because at least for my Spanish business, I hire a team basically so they can create my videos. So I just basically record and then they focus on editing and doing all this stuff, right? But I kind of miss editing my own videos on TikTok and just putting the music that it sounds. I'm putting my little twist on it, like how to promote it. So that's something that I've been missing for a long time. So then exactly just how you say, missing the game. I started promoting again and I've been getting like daily commissions, just by posting once a day. So it's funny how it is, like before it was my full-time thing and now it's my side thing. You get me? So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. But I think that's how you got to look at this entrepreneurial journey. If you're going to take it, is you got to look at it like a game and you got to look at it like it's going to be fun at times. And, I think about my son who's 9 years old and he's done all kinds of different sports, basketball, soccer, football, taekwondo. And he played baseball for one season when he was really young. He was probably in kindergarten, and it was too slow paced for him at the time. It was boring, and he didn't want to continue on. Plus, COVID happened back then, so it kind of shut everything down for a year. So he got away from baseball. But anyways, the point I'm getting at is he's getting back into baseball this fall, and he starts on Thursday. And so we've been out, pitching, and I've been throwing him batting practice because that was my sport in high school. And it just reminded me how fun it is, at least for me, to play baseball. And it takes me back to that time. But I can see in his face when he goes through a little slump, so to speak, where he might miss 3 or 4 pitches in a row, or he might be, trying to learn how to pitch and he throws 3 or 4 wild ones over my head when I'm trying to catch him. I could see he gets frustrated. But eventually, after he gets this down and he can hit batting practice and he can throw strikes, he's going to love it because I can see when he gets in a groove, he's having so much fun. And that's how entrepreneurship is. Like when you're first getting started and you're learning the game, it can be super frustrating. You can feel like you're failing. You can wonder why you can't hit a baseball when your competition, or in the metaphor's case, your dad can hit a baseball every single time. It's like it's really hard. It's that comparison that really brings the joy out of it, or robs the joy from the experience. But man, once you get good at it, it's a whole crap ton of fun. And just like we have covered already, you miss those early stages. So it's kind of a little bit of motivation and encouragement for folks who are just in that frustration phase where nothing's easy. Just keep going because A, there's a potential for a life-changing income, and B, eventually it's just going to be fun. It's a game.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually a really good example because almost the same thing happened with my daughter. As soon as she started playing soccer, at first, of course, she didn't understand the game. You get me? She didn't understand how to play, but she understood that she could, run to the ball. She could kick it a couple times. But then that was like the first couple practices. But then after maybe the fifth or to 10th practice, she already understood that, okay, in order to win, we have to score a goal. In order to win, we have to defend our goal. You get me? So it started clicking in her head. And it's almost the same as marketing. When you first start something new, she had no idea what she was doing, but she knew kind of what she needed to do. You get me? And then little by little, you start getting, you start creating new things, new ways of marketing. And then that's kind of like the same example. And then as far also when you have a mentor, of course, you get me. For example, right now I'm my daughter's mentor in soccer, and it's just funny because I don't suggest you guys do this, but I also play soccer, and there's times where I have to watch her play soccer, and I tell her literally like what to do. Hey, you're not running. Hey, you're not doing this. And then there's times when I'm playing, she's over there yelling at me. Hey, why are you not running? And I'm over there tired, like, and I look at her and she's just laughing at me, like, hey, the same things that I'm telling her, she's telling me when I play. So it's just funny, like how, if you're a mentor, you have to basically do what you're telling your people, basically, right? So it's like follow by example type of thing. So it's just
Yeah.
funny how the tables turn around.
But it's also, I think it helps you understand where she's coming from because you're actually doing it. You know what I mean? Like I know when we're you know, pitching or playing baseball or whatever, it's like, well, you're stepping out, you should be stepping straight towards me. And he's like, well, yeah, but you threw that one inside. So, I wanted to get out of the way and stuff like that. And then, same thing. He's pitching to me and he throws one inside. And what does my foot do? It steps out. So it's like it kind of like teaching or being a mentor really helps you understand that, kind of things happen for a reason, and allows you to, in turn, do a better job for yourself and become more of a master at the craft. But really, really interesting. Games are fun. Treat it like a game, and things will go really well. But yeah, back to the beginning here. I did get into the master resell rights opportunity, if you will. It's going crazy on TikTok. Basically, what master resell rights is it is a license, right? It's nothing new. Master resell rights is not a new thing. It's a license to resell a product. It's just like PLR, which is private label rights, or white labeling a software. It's pretty much the same thing. And yeah, on Thursday, I decided to get into it. I launched my funnel yesterday. And yeah, like you said, we're going to see how it goes. And I'm going to try to have fun with it, enjoy the game, figure out the messaging. And most importantly, I'm going to try to tap into the buzz to try to expand the Brian Brewer brand, if you will. And it's really interesting, Andre. I started a new TikTok account and a new Instagram account in order to promote my funnel, and someone commented on, I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, but they left a comment saying, "Oh my God, I thought someone was impersonating Brian Brewer." And she said, "I love your podcast." So this is expanding the brand as well, and that's really what it's all about long term. So the people are out there listening, so that was really cool to see.
Yeah, and it definitely is a bust in the business in the market because when was it? Maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago that we first mentioned master resale rights in this podcast, and within maybe like a week ago, it started trending. Right, our video started trending on our YouTube channel, and I looked at the analytics, and everything came from external search, basically. So it could be Google. I looked at the other websites, and Google was the first one. So what does that mean? People are searching online what master resale rights is. You get me? So it's just the new buzz in the business. And we talked about it before the podcast too, where you said that there were other affiliates that were also trying to get started, but you kind of beat them to it. And it's just like they hate you, but they love you at the same time, you know. But that's the thing about you, you know, you're always growing, you're always implementing new things, and you basically need to get ahead of the game, right? Like as soon as you see something, might as well just jump to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should do your due diligence first. Don't just jump from opportunity to opportunity. And that's what I did. I actually started researching it when one of my coaching students asked about it. And I started to think, wow, there's the reach is expanding, the interest is starting to take off, and the wave is starting to build. And in making money, it's easier to ride the wave than it is to create it. So I started researching it, and it was really interesting. I got onto social media and started searching master resale rights. And something that really surprised me, and this was kind of the one of the main determining factors, is that you've known this from promoting other products. There's usually people who buy into a program that are scorned or bitter about it after the fact, and then they come out and they're against it for whatever reason, right? Because I don't blame the products. I blame the people mostly. But what I noticed with this is everyone who's buying into it, it seems like loves it. You know what I mean? And because there's such a buzz behind it, what I started to also realize is all the haters are just trying to sell other things. You know what I mean? They're trying to get in front of the buzz, trash the opportunity and resell their own thing. So that was my first bit of due diligence. Obviously, the second bit of due diligence was I actually bought into the program. I figured worst case scenario, if I sell it to one person, I made my money back and there's no risk. And when I went through the program, the information inside of there is pretty basic. It's detailed, but it's basic. It's how do you launch your funnel? How do you connect your domain? How do you set up your DNS? How do you connect your automation, fulfillment? How do you do your payment gateways so you can collect credit cards and all that stuff? And there's nothing revolutionary in there, but I did see a comment on a YouTube video about master resale rights. And the comment was, yeah, when you're a beginner, that's what you need. Too many courses give information overload. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great opportunity for beginners to kind of make their first dollar. And Andre, that's what I've always been about. I'm not, if I can help someone make $500,000, that's awesome. But my main thing is help people set something up and make their first dollar online, because I've been doing this for 11 years and still one of my greatest memories is making that first ever affiliate commission, because that was the moment that my life changed forever. Even though $32 or whatever it was wasn't a whole lot of money, it was the life-changing moment for me, and that's what I'm trying to bring to other people.
Yeah, I mean, what are the what are they teaching in the course? Like, is it what business model is it? Is it like master result rights? Is that business model, or
It's
are they
it's
teaching you to resell the same course, or what
so
is it?
the way it's framed is selling information, right? You can sell information if you have expertise, right? What's your niche? Well, I teach parents how to get their babies to sleep it through the night, right? Like that could be someone's expertise. So you could sell that if that was your expertise as information. You could sell coaching or consulting calls to new moms. You could create an ebook and sell it. You could create a course or a community and sell access to it, right? Like that's what selling information is. That's the same thing Legendary Marketer preaches, right? Like the opportunity to sell information. Well, what do you need to sell information? Well, you need content to attract buyers or leads. You need a funnel to collect leads and pre-frame them. You need automation to follow up with them. You need a way to collect payments and fulfill on the product, meaning deliver the information, right? Like that's an information business. So it teaches that. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with that, but it frames it in a way that, hey, if you don't want to create a product yet, you can resell this product. So it's really beginner friendly in the sense that it's step by step, click by click. And I'm not trying to sell it here to anyone. There's going to be no links available in the podcast notes or anything like that, but I'm just kind of sharing what it is. When you go through this, you're going to learn by doing. And that's something we've talked about a lot, Andre. We learn by doing, just like your daughter, she wants to play soccer. How does she learn to play soccer? She goes out there and she joins a soccer league or a soccer team. It's not like she sat there and watched 10,000 videos of Lionel Messi. You know what I mean? Maybe she did because, you're probably a fan and she's probably seen soccer on TV, but that's not what she's doing to learn. She's actually learning by actually going out there and playing. And I think that's kind of the key takeaway of it is if it helps people get started, that's gold right there. Because I think I've said this before. If you want to help people and make money helping people, you have to help people in the way that they want to be helped. Meaning you could have the greatest opportunity in the world and try to sell it. But if people don't think they can do it, think it's too much work, don't understand it, they're not going to take action. Even if it's the greatest opportunity in the world to make $1 billion and you're selling it for $5, people won't take advantage of that if it's not the way that they want to be helped. So I saw the buzz with this, figured, okay, this is how people want to be helped. Let's get it out to the masses. And like you said earlier, other marketers are taking notice. After I launched my funnel, I got a couple different emails from a couple of different people who have actually both been on this podcast. And since they've been on this podcast, I'll mention their names. It was Josh Smith and Phil Koberger. They both separately reached out to me and said, I was literally mapping out my funnel and you beat me to it. So it's always fun to be first and fun to beat your peers and your friends getting to market. But that's it, man. Like once you do your due diligence, back to the original point, once you do your due diligence, after you find an opportunity, do your due diligence. And then if it's good, launch. I mean, go. This is digital.
Yeah.
This is the internet. This is technology. This is the future. I mean, you got to go. You got to go.
And then when you start creating content, it's almost kind of similar, right? As affiliate marketing, they're kind of promoting it almost the same way, correct? Like they're just changing the affiliate marketing side of it with master resell rights. Have you seen any negative things about talking about, for example, affiliate marketing now? Because you know how when people start promoting something new, they start bashing what they used to promote, and now they promote like the right thing, right? Have you seen anything like that in the business?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just it's not typically the game I play, and it's not the approach I'm going to take with this. But yeah, I mean, it's the low hanging fruit, right? Legendary Marketer has been hot since 2012. I'm not going to say when I started promoting it, but hey, I was, might have kicked it off a little bit. But the point I'm getting at is, Legendary Marketer has been pretty hot since I started promoting it back in like February, April of 2020. And so over time, there's probably 30 to 60,000 people who have already gone through the Business Builder Challenge, maybe 100, maybe 200,000 people. I don't know. So what that is that's 200, 300,000 people who've already raised their hand and said, I'm interested in learning how to make money online by promoting a product that I don't have to create. Right. So that's a hot target. That's a targeted interest audience, right? We already know that they're interested in an opportunity. So yeah, there's a lot of marketers out here coming around trying to get in front of those folks with the opportunity switch. Because as we know, if 300,000 people have joined the $7 Business Builder Challenge, I don't know, there's maybe 50 to 100 people who've made significant money, maybe a few more.
Right.
So that means there's a lot of people who just failed. And now, is it the result of the program?
It's not that many people. It's not that many people that actually make money,
Yeah, and it's not the fault of the program. The program has been proven to get people results. It's just that most people, give up, don't see it through, whatever. So yeah, there are a lot of people who are coming in and bringing the opportunity switch, which is obviously a marketing tactic. I took the $7 course and I failed and I sucked, but now I'm doing this and it's better. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely going on, and that will always be the way it is.
Yeah, it's a marketing strategy, you know. People talk about the negative of other businesses. People talk about only results. It's just, you know, depending how you wanna come out to your audience, that's just how you gotta do it basically. So it's getting to we're August 22nd right now. Well, at the time we're filming this video, this episode. Funnel Hacking Live is coming up next month. Are you excited about it? Is there any buzz? What are you thinking?
Man, I'm looking forward to it. I don't do a whole lot of events, but as you know, this will be my third Funnel Hacking Live in a row. Yeah, I'm excited. It's a great event. There's great energy. There's 5,000 entrepreneurs there, most of which are in the digital space, and it's just a lot of fun. And yeah, I bought my ticket for this year at last year's event, so I was ready to go as soon as it ended last year. I do have my hotel now finally. Just forgot about it, but got my hotel, got my plane ticket, and yeah, looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to leave a little bit early this year. I'm gonna have to leave on Friday, but I'll be there. And in the first 2 days, I think are the best days, anyways. And I'll get to see the folks like you and a lot of the friends that I've made at last 2 years events, and meet some new people and just be in the environment. So I'm looking forward to it. And we'll get to go on stage on Thursday and collect our two Comma Club awards and get our pictures taken. So that will be fun. What about you? You looking forward to it?
Hell yeah, I am. Just how you said, like, I bought my ticket last year too while we were at Funnel Hacking Live, and I got an extra ticket. So my plan was to bring my wife, and she's actually gonna be able to make it. So it's gonna be really exciting. It's more like a proud moment, I guess, because my wife will be seeing me right there, walk on stage, receiving my award. So it's I think it's just amazing, you know, how far I've gone in this business, and I mean the things that are gonna come in the future as well. But yeah, I'm excited to meet all the people that we've talked. I mean, hopefully there's a lot of people that go that we know in the online space. If you guys, you know, want to meet up with us, let us know. We'll be there in September. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to see the guests. Um, I'm excited to see Doc's presentation because Doc was a guest in our podcast couple weeks ago. So I'm excited to see his presentation, to see how far he's come as well. And then yeah, learning, right? The main thing why I go to these events is to learn, to get as much of information as I can, either from the people speaking in the event, or from the connections that I make. You know, just after the event, people get together, they have a couple drinks, you know, we could smoke some cigars. And that's literally where the money is, you know, the connections that you make when you go to these marketing events. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what other projects you're going to come up with, like this amazing podcast. You get me? Like there's just a bunch of opportunities out there. And yeah, if you are still like in the trenches, you know, trying to think, oh, should I go? Will this be a good investment? I highly recommend it. You know, it literally changed my life in a different way that I never thought it was going to be possible. So it's a great event.
Yeah, you talk about the importance of the networking and what happens outside. And that's it. I mean, the speakers on stage are amazing and they're accomplished and they usually give great information. And some of that information might change your business. But take this podcast, for example. This was formed as a result of sitting poolside smoking a cigar. You know what I mean? That's when we finally, I think, committed to it, and you talked me into it, or made me see the value in starting it. I guess is a better way to put it. So yeah, I mean those are the connections. Those are the things that change lives and change the trajectory of your business. And for anyone who is going perhaps and listening to this podcast, and it's going to be your first funnel hacking live, my advice to you is definitely check out the speakers. Like, make it a priority to go see the speakers. If there is a speaker that you're not super excited about, or maybe that their topic doesn't really pertain to your business, it's probably okay to duck out, make some friends, find some connections to go get lunch with, or spend an hour at the pool. But while you're in there listening to those speakers, I would say, and this may be bad advice, but this is kind of what I've learned after going for a couple of years. Don't worry about feverishly taking notes about everything that everybody is saying, because chances are you're not going to go back to most of it anyway. What you should look for while you're there is not the secret to the universe or all the secrets to the universe. What you should be looking for is those one or two big ideas that can totally transform your business, right? Well, the one or two super powerful golden nuggets that are going to be the tiny hinges that swing the big doors. You know, for example, last year at 2022, the linchpin was the big idea. That came from Russell Brunson. He talked about the linchpin business model. His book just came out. I have it on order. It should be delivered in the next couple of days. So, in a future podcast, maybe we can dive into that a little bit further. But the other big idea came from Anthony Morrison, and it was a breakout session that he hosted where he was talking about his webinar funnel.
The webinar,
And
yeah.
what he talked about is he was giving kind of his webinar funnel framework and how to write webinars and stuff like that. And at the end of that presentation, he says, what I do is at the end of my webinars, after I've answered all the questions and made all the pitches, I say, I don't want you to go away empty handed. Get access to my newsletter or whatever he calls it for $9 a month. And then it becomes monthly recurring revenue. And the way he presented that, he says, I'm not supposed to give numbers at Funnel Hacking Live, but that little add-on right there does a lot of business. And so that was the other thing that kind of reframed in my head the way I should attack my business. And obviously I try to sell high ticket first, but I also offer opportunity for monthly recurring revenue because of that little golden nugget that I got in some obscure presentation. So that's if you're going, look for those tiny hinges that swing big doors.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, the big idea, right? When I went to Funnel Hacking Live last year, the big idea that I got from it, that I actually wrote on the letter that I wrote to myself, was monthly recurring revenue and then like a membership funnel,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those are the big things that I got from the whole event, basically, because I wasn't implementing these things on my business. I was just an affiliate marketer. You get me, just promoting and getting paid for a sale. But then I started to realize, okay, for me to get to the next level, I need to create some type of membership area, some type of basically a program. And now, the year is not over yet, but I was able to accomplish all those things that I wrote on the letter that I wrote to myself. I didn't talk about like income, like how much money I was gonna make, but I did talk about structures, things that I need to get better on. And I was able to accomplish those things. For example, the membership, the monthly recurring revenue, which I added it to my membership as well. So all of that, just how you say, just get that big ideas, because there's gonna be a lot of information, but there's no way you're gonna, just how you said, take notes of everything and implement everything that you take notes on. You just, like I said, just get the big ideas, implement those ideas, and then the following year there's gonna be new things coming your way, and then you can implement those things. But you should not get overwhelmed, you get me, just by writing down all the information about it. No, just get the things that you think you could accomplish and get working. And as long as you're progressing in some type of way, it's gonna be an amazing experience.
And that's the biggest thing too, is when you come out of there, make sure you implement, because you said you achieved all your goals. So you're in a better place than you were last year. I took that golden nugget of the linchpin, and my entire business model now is structured around the linchpin framework. And it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's dialed in. I mean, I got to the point where I had to start a new side hustle because I was getting bored. So implement. Also, I talked about Anthony Morrison's monthly recurring revenue. My monthly recurring revenue now is at where my average month was last year. So, I mean, think about the freedom that brings, right? And that's because I implemented. And the other thing is have fun with it, because you're going to come out of there. If you have fun with it, don't stress about it, make connections, you're going to come out of there recharged and ready to crush at least the next 2 to 3 to 4 months just from the energy that you're going to steal from being at Funnel Hacking
Yeah.
Live. So, yeah, that's
And
definitely a good one to go to.
Yeah, I mean it's all about implementing. I mean, especially, I mean, how many people how many people buy your program, right? And then how many people purchase the program, but they don't get to the point where they have to register their account. You get me? Like there's like literally that you buy the program and the next step is create your account. How many people get stuck right there
Yeah.
in the middle? You get me? It's literally the step one and step two, but
Yeah.
you can't even get to step two.
Right.
You know
Yeah. I
what's going
mean,
on? What does that mean?
that's it. I mean, people get so excited about the purchase that they forget that all the work's done after the purchase. I mean, the purchase is fun. It's fun to buy something new. It's exciting. It gives you optimism, but the work and the results come when you actually implement on what you purchased. But speaking of energy and excitement, there was a big exciting event, so to speak, this weekend. I think it was August 18th, I believe was the date, August 18th, 2023. And Alex Hermosi had his big internet book launch. And I don't know about you, Andre, but since that, my Facebook feed has been filled with Hermosiisms and critiques and praise and outpourings of love. And what have you been seeing after this Hormozy book launch deal?
Yeah, yeah. One of the main things I sing is everybody talking about it. Like every like just how you said, everybody on the field, Hormozy this, Hormozy that, Hormozy this. So that goes to show how much of an impact one person can have in the whole marketing business and the whole marketing strategy. But I did notice that there was a lot of people watching the webinar that he was making. It was a webinar, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think he did it webinar style, but
Yeah,
he did it live,
to
streamed
launch the book, right?
on YouTube. Yeah, is where
Exactly.
I saw that. I'll admittedly I was busy this weekend, launching my new MMR or MRR business and with the kids, so I didn't watch the whole thing. But yeah, that's where I saw it was live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, and then I did see a lot of people in there, and from the feedback that I got from the people watching it was that he was giving away a lot of information for free, basically. And this is something that you also do, Brian. You give away things for free at first, you get me? Um, but I guess for somebody that is listening that is a beginner, you think that's a good way to start?
Yeah, I did see a lot of I don't want to say negative feedback because I don't know if it can really be called feedback if it's not going directly to the person. Speaking of Alex Hermosi, but I saw a lot
Or
of
just
negative
opinions,
comment.
right?
The opinion, yeah, exactly. We know what opinions are, right? But anyways, besides that point that they're just opinions, there's a lot of opinions out there that follow the narrative, such as yeah, Hermosi's out there giving away everything for free, but he is only doing that after years and years and millions of dollars made. And their knock on it, or their critique was, is if you're new, you have to sell something in order to drive revenue. And um, I get their point. Just like the people bashing master resale rights, I wonder if the people bashing this give everything away for free model are selling direct marketing solutions, perhaps. I mean, that is entirely possible. Maybe they're selling webinar trainings. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of disagree with it because, as you alluded to, I mean, that's the game I've been playing since 2016. I started in 2016 as my first public appearance, so to speak, on YouTube, creating content that taught people how to set up e-commerce stores. And the way I monetized that was I gave away a free course that taught people how to set up a store and run their first Facebook ads. And I monetized it through affiliate commissions for things like Shopify and the list that I built. Because once you build the email list, you can market to the other products to that list. So, yeah, in the beginning, when I didn't have a following, I didn't have an audience, I didn't have a list, I hadn't made millions of dollars. I'd made enough to quit my job, but that's pretty much it. I still gave away, quote unquote, the farm because everybody else was selling drop shipping courses. I was giving away a free course and the results spoke for themselves. I generated 50, 60,000 leads in the first year or two, first 18 months, probably. I grew my YouTube channel to 75,000 subscribers. and I made a ton of money. My first $50,000 month was because of the email list that I built by giving away this free course. I had built up so much trust that when I promoted a high ticket offer, even though my list wasn't huge at the time, it converted well. And it was like life changing at that point. So yeah, I think you can give away the farm for free if you do it strategically. And I think that's maybe what's lost on people is they're out here, playing checkers. Meaning if I do this, where is, you really, if you want to be good at this game, you got to go out there and play chess. You got to start thinking 3 moves ahead or 5 moves ahead or 7 moves ahead. And it doesn't have to take years to get the paybacks. It doesn't have to take years to monetize. If you do it strategically, you can be done pretty quickly, like I do with my free course model.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then also the book, right? Like he did this whole launch and he's still selling the book, right? Like because I was looking at the things that people were saying and they were saying that he gave everything for free, right? Even the book was for free. You get me? But I'm guessing that's just basically an introduction to an offer that he has in the back end, right? I don't think everything is gonna be for free. I'm sure he has like offers in the back end that are gonna be running, right? What do you think?
Well, I think you have to look at the game he's playing right now. So first of all, what is Alex Hormozy doing right now? He's clearly made enough money to be set for life, or at least that's my understanding of his finances. I don't know if
Right.
that's true or not, but let's just say he's either made enough money to be set for life, or B, he has the skills where if you did get down to zero, he could turn around, launch a product, and make some money. So he's not really playing that game anymore. What's he trying to do? Well, he has acquisition.com. And what is the purpose of acquisition.com in that business? Well, they bring on other businesses, whether it's information businesses, coaching businesses, and they run them through his model or boot camp or optimization, whatever it is. It's kind of a done with you program. And the way I understand it is they may make a financial investment, but they also take an interest in the
Mm-hmm.
company, whether that be 5%, 10%. I don't really know. Could be more, could be less. And then they grow that company from say $3 million to $30 million or $50 million or $100 million, implementing the frameworks that they've developed over the years. And then I guess the idea is they either get bought out by the original owner or they sell it and then they get their percentage. At least that's how I understand. So how does he get more companies, right? This is the game he's playing. He wants to have more portfolio companies that he's just taking an interest in helping them grow. Well, the easiest and best way to do that is to create more companies that fit their mold, fit their metric, right? Like they obviously have a certain set of criteria that they're going to look at before they take on a company, right? They're not going to take on companies if they're doing XYZ, but they will take on companies that are doing ABC. So if he gives away the book and the training and whatever else he gave away, and it teaches people how to build businesses in the framework of ABC, which is what they're looking for, then who's the first person they're going to think of when they see success in their business? They're going to be like, oh, Alex Hermosi helped me get to 3 million. I followed his
Yeah.
ABC framework. Now Hermosi can be like, cool. Yeah, I'll help you grow to 30 million. Oh, this is awesome. Is it miraculous that you followed the exact framework that I'd like to see? No, because I taught it to you. You know what I mean? So there's the goodwill aspect of it, but there's also the controlling the quality of lead flow aspect of it, right? Because he's training
Yeah.
businesses to do business the exact way he wants them to, so he can bring them in and scale them from 3 million to 50 million or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's freaking brilliant. You know what I mean? There's the goodwill, but there's the buzz, there's the leads, but I mean, he's controlling everything is really what he's doing. He's taking control of his
Yeah.
acquisition.com business, which he wants to grow to over $1 billion. And that's what you have to do.
That's super interesting that he's helping people basically scale their business, but he's taking a percentage of the business, right? So at the end of the day, he's probably gonna profit more. But it kind of reminded me when I went to when I went to a mastermind for ClickFunnels, I met a guy named Shakir. I don't remember his last name. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty
I
sure
know who
you
you're
know who
talking
he
about. I
is.
don't I don't remember his last name either, but I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. I think he partnered up with Jonathan at one point on something. And
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
believe
know who he
so.
is. Yep.
And I think he owns funnel.com. I think
Yep.
he's the
Yep.
one that owns that. Okay, exactly. Well, he says something about that his agency, what his agency does is he helps you scale your business, but he takes a percentage of the funnel. You get me? His agency takes a percentage of the sales that the funnel makes. And that's how he basically makes most of his money helping other businesses with their funnels. So that's kind of like it kind of reminded me of what Alex is doing with companies. But in this case, this guy is just basically just getting percentage out of companies the same way that Hormoz is doing it, but in a way of just messing with your funnel. You get me? It's super interesting how that plays out, especially because real estate. Remember, we met somebody at Funnel Hacking Life last year, and one of the persons was a real estate niche type of thing. But she was saying something about why don't you try to get equity? You get me? When, for example, you have made so much money for legendary marketer, is there a way you can try to get equity that way? You get me? And me as an affiliate
Mhm.
marketer, how would that work? Now I was a little confused. You get me? Like why? How would I ask Dave Sharp or whatever about being a partner with his company because I have already made him so much money. You get me? Like it didn't click with me right there when she asked me that question. I was like, okay, this is out of my league, type of thing. But I don't know. Do you have any expertise, any ideas of what they're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the idea there is if someone is able to pay you $50,000 to help optimize their systems. So that's you make $50,000. Now, alternatively, let's say that you help them optimize their systems, but instead of taking any money up front, you take 10% of the funnel sales. Let's say you take 10% of the funnel sales over what they're already doing. So let's say a company is doing $1 million a year, right? And you say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to help you implement the systems, my proprietary systems or the systems that I perfected. I'll help you for free. But here's the deal. Over the next 3 years, I'm going to take 10% of your funnel sales. Now, let's say this funnel goes from $1 million to $6 million a year because you
Yeah.
implemented the systems. So that's $5 million per year over 1 million. So 10% of $5 million per year over 1 million is $500,000. Multiply that out by the 3 years that you got the equity for. That's $1.5 million that you make as your company for doing the same work that you were normally going to sell or initially going to sell for $50,000. Right. So that's the whole idea. Now, obviously, someone who you help scale their business from 1 million a year to 5 million a year over 3 years, right? Or 6 million a year. They went from 1 million a year over 3 years, which is $3 million, to 6 million a year over 3 years, which is $18 million. So you help them make an extra $15 million. So obviously they're going to be super grateful to give up the 1.5 million or 10%.
Yeah.
But then, the risk of that is, when you're dealing with operators, what happens if they don't implement what you say? What happens if they decide they want to change courses? Then you did all this work for nothing if they just shutter their business. And that's entrepreneurship and business in a nutshell, risk reward, right? So many people um, would rather take the $50,000 up front as opposed to putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak, having a little faith in the operator that they're partnering with and trying to make 1.5 million
Yeah.
over the next 3 years. So yeah, that's the game. Maybe I should start doing that. That's a good idea. I got time.
I I know, right? Hey, write it down on your notes,
I know.
This
I
is
don't
why
take.
this is why we do this, right? To get
You know
ideas
what's
going.
interesting? I don't take notes. I do. I take all kinds of notes just to write it down again. But you know what I do really do, Andre? And I don't know if this is going to help anybody. Me, I have so many ideas and so many flashes, and me like, oh, maybe I should try this or maybe I should do this. And I know they say you should write them down so you remember them. And sometimes I might write them down just to kind of get them a little bit more stuck in my memory. But I never go back to my notes. I rarely go back to my notes. But what I do is if an idea pops into my head that I can't get away from, like I'm not researching my notes and saying, oh, hey, that was a good idea. If like an idea pops into my head and it's just like I can't stop thinking about it, then I implement on it. And that's kind of been my litmus test, so to speak, on whether or not you should do something. Is if it sticks there and won't go away, and the more you think about it, the better it sounds, then that's a pretty good
Yeah.
clue that it could be a good opportunity. Because a lot of times when you first hear of something, it sounds amazing, right? You have that uninformed optimism. You're like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to kick ass. And then if you're the type of person who just takes notes, you might not think about it. And then you go back and see that note and be like, oh, that was a good idea. Maybe I should do it. But if you start thinking about something, a lot of times it can be like, ooh, nope, it's going to be a problem because of this. It's going to be a problem because of this. It's going to be a problem because of this. So if you start thinking about something, and it doesn't have to be for months, it can be 2 days or 3 days. But if you keep thinking about something and the idea sounds better and better and better, then that's when you should implement. And that's exactly what happened to me with master resell rights opportunity here. It's like the more I thought about it, and to be fair, I only thought about it over the course of like 48 hours. But at first it was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can make some money. Okay, I can get in front of the buzz on a positive side. But then I started thinking like, okay, if I start really succeeding with this, now I'm going to look like an expert with a whole new group of people. Like I'm already an expert with this group and this group and this group. So if I can become an
Hmm.
expert in front of a new group, then how's that going to help me in the future? And then I started thinking about, wow, if I can become a leader for the winners, right? The people who are successful in this game, how much more valuable is that than being a leader for quote unquote the losers who just follow you because you give them hope, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not
Yeah.
calling anybody a loser by any means, but I'm just saying, like, it's one thing to lead a group of people who never get over the hump. It's another thing to lead a group of people who make moves and get results and stuff like that. So that was kind of my flow. As I thought about it more and more, I'm like, oh, this kind of makes sense for me. Let's do it. And I couldn't get away from it. Here we are.
It's almost like you're sleeping at night and you're like, MRR, you wake up out of nowhere, you're thinking about it.
And
Hey,
that's
Brian, but I'm
true.
gonna tell you.
The first
Yeah.
couple of nights, I slept for shit, man. I was on the couch at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't wake my wife up. I slept for shit. And then as soon as I got my funnel launched, I slept like a baby. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Hey, Brian, but I gotta tell you, I know you want to be an expert in these areas. Don't do crypto, okay? Don't do crypto. I don't want to see you. I will not approve it for you, okay?
Out there slinging bitcoins and stuff.
No, I've been watching a YouTube channel called Coffee Silla, and he basically exposes all the scammers that are online.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah,
a bunch of influencers, a bunch of people that get a really big audience in their platforms, either on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, right? People are everywhere. But what happens is that they get so popular and then they start basically scamming people. They
yeah.
take advantage of their own followers, they take advantage of their subscribers, people in their email list, people that follow these people because they think they want to be just like that person. So those type of influencers, they take advantage of basically people that follow them, and they scam people for thousands, even millions of dollars. And the
A hundred
easiest scam
percent.
that people are doing is crypto. You get me?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of kids on Twitch. Twitch is a streaming platform where they have a loyal following, and then they start thinking about a new project that they're doing, and they don't really do it, like just how you said, they don't do the due diligence. You know what I mean? They don't really investigate more about the thing. And what then ends up happening, a bunch of these followers, they lose thousands of dollars just because they believed in that person. You get me? So
Yeah,
that's what I'm
a hundred
saying.
percent.
Don't do crypto, Brian.
I'll tell you what though. I would like to. So here, let me throw this out there just to get it on camera into the world. And so here's what I think. I first of all, let's put it this way. I don't have any money in crypto right now. I'm not an expert in crypto. I don't really even understand it. Do not take this as financial advice by any means, but I just wanted to put this prediction out there so I can look back 5 years from now and see if it was right. I think December of 2023, so this coming
Okay.
December, I
Mhm.
think that's going to be the start of the bull run for Bitcoin. I think that in December 2023, it's going to start and it's going to go up to 120, $140,000 a Bitcoin. And like I said, don't take my advice on that. I could be totally wrong. It could go to zero.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about that for a little while, and I don't even know if I'm going to act on it, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to put that on camera here, just so that way, 5 years from now, if that was the case, I'd be like, oh, I should have done something with that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I don't plan on doing anything in crypto. And you got to remember, excuse me, is my mission has always been to get people started making their first dollar just to validate the opportunity of starting an online business. I mean, that's been my mission for day one. I don't care if people have gone on and earned a lot of money following my trainings over the years, sometimes just my free content on YouTube. But that's not my goal. My goal is to help you get started and help you make your first dollar. And I think you need a mission in life if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to sell products, because otherwise it's just, I mean, once you make money, it's just like, it's just numbers. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to have a mission. So yeah, I don't think crypto's in my future is the bottom line there.
Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, no, especially when people like abandon projects. You get me? It's like why would you abandon something that you worked so hard for? You get me? It's like me tomorrow saying, okay, yeah, I don't want to do Spanish anymore. Like you get me? You get me? Like people have the mentality, like whatever, I'm just gonna scratch this, Well, what happened to all those people that already invested? What happened to all these people that are already changing their mindset, they're changing their skill level. You get me? So it's like once you get to the point that you almost become responsible for everybody. You
Right.
get me?
And
It's
that's
like
an
it's like,
important
yeah.
thing to remember. And I made this distinction before the podcast started, Andre, when I talked about this new opportunity. I'm not promoting it to the people who bought into my program. I'm still going to do my coaching. I'm still going to give it 110%. I'm promoting this to the people who didn't buy my program. Because
Exactly.
once again, my mission is to just get people to get started, and people have to be helped in the way they wanted to be helped. So they've already been on my list for 60 days, and we've proven that they don't want to be helped by me. No worries. There's plenty of people who want to be helped by me. I love the coaching calls. I think the program's amazing, but I still want to help them. I still want them to get started. So that's who I'm promoting this to, is those people who just, they don't want to be affiliate marketer with Brian Brewer. That's fine, right? That's a majority
Mm-hmm.
of my list don't want to be an affiliate marketer with Brian Brewer. That's okay. But I still care about those people. I still want them to get started. I still want them to realize, like, once you launch a funnel and you have a way to take payments and you start creating content to attract an audience, your life can change. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And especially if somebody's out there and you put your email address, your name in somebody else's list, and it gets to the point where you're getting emails about that person, of course, because you opted in, right? Don't be negative about it. You get me? Like, for example, don't there's no need for you to reply and be like, hey, I don't want you to send me emails.
Right.
You get me? It's not like we got your name. It's not like we got your email address. Like, it's not like we got it from your profile, right? Your Facebook group. No, you opted in into my email list. You get me? And then I get emails saying, "Can you stop sending me emails?" And I'm like, "Okay, but there's an unsubscribe button in the bottom of the email, right? Every single email has the unsubscribe. Like that. Why would you go that extra step to be negative when you could just be like, okay, well, get out of the list? You get me? If you don't want to get more emails, just it's as simple as clicking one button.
And that's it. Like, why would you invest extra energy to be negative? I don't get that. I mean, I do get it, actually, because when I first got started and I was first growing my email list and trying to sell opportunities and stuff, people would say, take me off your list. And I would respond to them with, like, oh, if you don't want the amazing information, then fine, I'll take you off the list. Right. And that's just me doing the same thing, going the extra step to be negative. Now, I mean, I've evolved, thankfully, over time. But now, like, for instance, yesterday, this guy sent me a response, and I don't remember what he said, but he said something like, you scammers. And then they gave me a bunch of middle finger emojis. And it was like, okay. And I just took him off my list and I was on with my day. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he opted into my list, right? Like, and if he doesn't, that's fine. And I no longer respond. I just do what they ask. I unsubscribe them. So it's an evolution, but that's the journey of entrepreneurship, is not just the money you make, but the person that you become, right?
Yeah. Another thing that happened to me actually was somebody disputed a $7 payment. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, why? Like in my head, I'm like, why did he dispute it, right? And then what he said was that somebody got his credit card and got access to it and made the purchase. Well, I went on my list and I checked the date where that person opted into my funnel. You get me? That person opted into my funnel. I took a screenshot of that. I took that date and then the day where they purchased with the same email that they opted in, and I took the screenshots and I sent it to Stripe. And guess what happened? They canceled the dispute because that person actually opted in into my funnel. Like that person opted in, and I showed them the screenshots from ClickFunnels, from Aweber when they open my email, when they you get me, and everything is already logged in with the same email address, with the same name, the dates. And when that happened, they didn't refund the money to that person because it was a legit purchase with the same email address. So
100%.
that's something that I checked it out and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it, because people just dispute for to dispute, you know what I mean? So when I did that, they actually gave me the money back and everything, and the dispute was resolved. You get me? And it's just like, okay,
100%.
well, people are just like that.
Well, the other thing too is when they dispute you, if even if it's a $7 charge, that still costs you an additional $15 for the dispute, right? And so it's just like one of those things is like I always fight them not because I care about the $7 and the $9. It's because
Right.
it's about the principle. If you reach out and explain your situation, I'll refund you. I don't care. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
no, just to buy something with the intention to dispute it, like you're intentionally trying to harm businesses because businesses, if their dispute rate gets too high, that can be a serious problem. And if
Yep.
you have an affiliate program, that can actually hurt your affiliates as well. If you have to take time to find a new processor and have to change affiliate tracking software because of that processor, it's just a mess. And it's just people are selfish is really what it comes down to. And they don't think about other people. And it's unfortunate. And those are the people who are never
Yeah.
going to be successful anyway. So
That's true. That's
that's
actually
it.
true. Well, I don't want to leave this this episode with negativeness. So let's just change a little bit the topic just to finish off. You get me? I'm thinking about creating awards for my program right now. You get me? I want to get my affiliates more excited about it. I'm looking to see what kind of things I could give them. Maybe it's something like this that I got in the past, or it could be maybe something like this, you get me, like a what's it called, like a frame, like a type of
Like a
like
like
an
a
award, I
plaque,
guess
so
you
to
can say.
speak. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
plaque, there you go, you get me. So I'm still thinking something. I like how you're giving them like a coffee max, I think that's
Yeah.
what
Let
it
me let
is,
me
with their
grab one.
name.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
show
let,
you
let, me,
there.
let me check it out. Let me check it out. But yeah, so I guess what Brian does is, Brian, when his affiliates reach, I believe it's 1,000 commissions, he gives them, there you go.
There it
It's
is.
like
We'll throw
a
it up. You
coffee
can see it
max.
on YouTube. So I'm from Texas, right? Or I live in Texas now. And Yeti, which is the tumblers and the coolers, they were founded in Texas. And so yeah, what I do is when affiliates make their first $1,000, I send this out to them. And why is that significant? Most people give $10,000 and up awards. Well, my program costs $997. So as you can see here, once you get in the first 1K club, I send you this custom engraved Yeti tumbler in the mail. And there's actually a couple I got to send out. So I'm glad you reminded me of it. Um, but I think that's significant because once you make your investment back, then your education was free. And if you choose to continue to promote my programs, that's awesome. That's great. But if you choose to go out and use that information and start a different business, I'm cool with that as well. And that's really what I think is cool about becoming an affiliate for the education course that you took first is once you get that first 1K, your education is free. And that was the same
Yeah.
reason I thought that master resale rights was pretty cool. It's about getting a return on your investment. And if you can make your money back and get the knowledge, then who cares if you never profit? Because what was your return? It was the education. So yeah, I
That's
mean,
true.
awards are cool, man. Definitely the cool thing about those plaques is they kind of, show off the brand. And I'll tell you, Andre, pull this one down here, the Dream Car Award. I tell you what, when I saw this thing, I wanted this damn steering wheel more than I cared about the money they gave me every month for my car. And
Yeah.
just because I wanted it sitting in the background of my office. So stuff like that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. 100%. That's pretty, I mean, ClickFunnels has semi stuff. legendary marketer. I have things from AWeber, like a coffee mug from AWeber too. You know, what I mean, they just those little things that they send, like it makes me feel appreciated. You know, it
Mm,
makes me feel like, okay, I'm working hard for this company. I actually partner with this company and they acknowledge me. You get me? They
right.
acknowledge me that I'm putting the effort. They acknowledge me that I'm actually making them money in a way. You get me? So I think that's gonna be something that I'm gonna implement soon too
Yeah,
with
it's
my
really cool. And
program.
it makes a big difference too. I'll never forget when I first started promoting Legendary Marketer. This was Legendary Marketer was a lot smaller back then, you know. It became a behemoth. But when I don't remember if it was my first $100,000 or $200,000 that I made with them in commissions. But Dave Sharp sent me 2 boxes of Padron #2 cigars. And he said, "Hey, whatever, they appreciate it. These are my favorite cigars." And he said something funny like they're super smooth like your marketing or whatever like that. But that made a big impression on me. I was like, man, this is because I didn't know Dave at the time. I've since known him from speaking
Yeah.
at masterminds and on Zoom and stuff like that. So now I know him. But back then I didn't really know him personally. So I thought that made a big impression on me. So I thought that was really cool. And it didn't help my cigar smoking habit. So maybe I should go bust down his door and tell him what I really think, because rekindled my appreciation for cigars. But yeah, it goes a long way. It really does. And it doesn't have to be big, just some sort of physical something goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Well, Brian, it's always been a pleasure. It's great talking to you as always. But yeah, I guess like I said before, you follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. Let us know if there's something, any type of topics that you want us to talk about. We can definitely do that as well.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in and listening to this episode. Make sure you go check out the past episodes if you haven't. And we got some great guests coming up. And who knows? Maybe we'll even do a live. Should we do a live side by side episode at Funnel Hacking Live one of the days? Do you think we could pull that
Hey,
off?
that's a great idea, actually. What do we need?
Yeah.
The
We
mics,
need mics and cameras
laptop?
and one set of lights probably, right? I got lights that are pretty portable. Should we do it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I think we
Yeah.
can do that. I can bring
Yeah.
my camera, the mic, my laptop, and I think we should be ready to go.
Yeah, a couple land. We'll just find a spot, doesn't matter, maybe poolside. Bring our microphones. We'll sit
Yeah.
there. We'll sit there. Yeah, we'll sit there in the lounge chairs where it all started. We'll smoke a cigar. We'll sit like this and
Yeah,
we'll
there you go.
we'll do an episode, or what do you say?
100%. We're gonna do it now. It's gonna
All
be
right.
a special episode for all of you guys.
Yeah, back to Funnel Hacking Live, where it all began. We're already writing the
Well,
title
that's
as
gonna be like our 1 year anniversary.
close. Yeah, I think we'll be a few episodes shy because we started, I think, a couple weeks
Oh
after
yeah, you're
that.
right. So that's
So,
when
but
the
it,
idea happened.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
like
1 year
episode
anniversary of the idea.
yeah, it'll be episode 48 or 49 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So that'd be cool. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, let's do it. It's time.
All
All right.
right. Well,
Well, thank
thanks
you
everybody
guys,
for tuning in.
everybody.
Yeah. We'll see y'all on the next
We'll see
episode of
you
the
guys.
Evolved Marketing Podcast. Bye now.
Bye.